Teresa, and I'm here with Carla Azevedo with her new cookbook, Pimento and Piri Piri, and we are now looking at cornbread.
Absolutely.
So cornbread is an important thing in Portuguese cooking?
Oh, absolutely. This cornbread, which you've made, is something that is served with just about everything, and it is loved by everyone of Portuguese background. So you could come from the Azores, the mainland, from whatever parts of Portugal, and cornbread is a big part of the diet.
Yeah. Well, I made this yesterday so lovingly. Now, I know you say in the book it's best served the day that it's made, but I told kids, hands off, we're making this for the show, so I wanted to see...
Good job.
Yeah, well, I hope
Fabulous.
I did a good job. So you said to do it until it was brown,
Yes,
and then
absolutely.
to test if it was done to... Sounds
Perfect.
hollow? Okay.
It's such a favorite. Whenever we go to events, parties at people's homes or whatever, there's lots of cornbread served with other bread.
Okay.
And when the cornbread runs out, the basket goes back into the kitchen. Let's drum up some more cornbread.
Oh, it looks
Truly loved.
okay.
You did a
Make a bit of a mess.
beautiful
Look, I
job.
think it looks okay.
And I love
Check
smelling
it out.
food. Like that's
So do I,
really
actually.
smells.
Oh my God, it smells good. And
fabulous.
it was lovely. I don't often take the time midweek to make my own homemade
absolutely.
loaf of
When
bread,
it was-
but this is really wonderful.
And you can buy these at Portuguese bakeries as well.
So if you don't want to have to make your own cornbread with every meal, you
Exactly.
can just buy it and serve it with all the
Yeah.
other things you serve with. But
What I find with the store bought, you might notice when you go there, it might not look like this. It might be lighter, and they might do a different ratio of corn flour to white flour. So as you can imagine, the corn flour is going to be heavier, and so it's going to produce
I would like to try that.
denser bread. I've fallen in love with it.
So we could maybe dip it in a little bit of olive
Yeah,
oil.
absolutely.
It was
I love
different
that
for
way.
me. Like when you suggested that I make cornbread, I pictured my mom's French Canadian cornbread, which is a wet dry mix. It's like making muffins.
Yes,
So
totally
I was
different.
completely surprised when I saw that it was a yeasted bread, but
Yeah.
thoroughly delighted. So let's give it a try.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we've also got some specialty cheese to try it with.
Yes, absolutely. Let me take a bite. Oh, it's delicious.
Oh, good.
Absolutely delicious. I love that. Did a great job.
I did okay.
I think you did a great job.
Now that we've made the bread and we've determined that it is good, in fact, I didn't mess it up. So now we're going to try it with some cheese.
Okay.
What kind of cheese is this?
Okay, so this is called St. George cheese.
St. George cheese.
And it
Spelled
is
with a J.
With a J, and it's a specialty from the Azores. I absolutely love it. And you basically, I don't find this used a lot in anything but just eaten with bread, because people love it so much, and so the simplicity of it.
It's really nice and gentle and a little bit of a nutty hint, but not too much and creamy.
And it's really nice too with olives. That's what I find. You'd have that. You could make like a little bit of an appetizer meal right here. A petisco is what the Portuguese would call it. So an appetizer snack. Bring out the bread. Bring out the cheese.
Some olives.
And the olives. And in fact, last night when my husband decided he wanted to go out and get the right, because he comes from this island, that's where he was born. He wanted to get the right
cheese.
St. George cheese.
Right.
Well, he decided to get some extra.
Good man.
And so we had a dinner last night with fresh cornbread, fresh St. George cheese, and olives, and that's your entire meal. It just, because the bread too is so filling.
The bread is so dense. I can't imagine that you need much more than that.
Yeah.
And then if you wanted to lighten it up, we've made a little salad here. I made this salad from your book. And it's just the easiest thing. Very similar to what I make on my own anyway, except it used a whole onion, so that seemed like it was a lot more onion than I would think to use. And often I will mince an onion into my salad dressing, but this way it's just on top, just some romaine and some watercress. I love watercress.
Yes.
I hadn't realized it was a typical Portuguese thing. And I forgot to bring something to whisk this with, but that's okay. And just olive oil, white wine vinegar.
Yes.
I normally use apple cider or balsamic, so this was a nice departure for me to try the white wine vinegar, and just a little bit of garlic, salt, pepper, and Dijon mustard.
Yeah, very simple.
Yeah, very simple. So
a typical Portuguese salad would simply be the greens of your choice. Usually watercress is included, and then you would toss and be served with tomato slices, onion slices, olives on top, and you were given a little bit of oil and vinegar on the side, and you toss it as you like.
yourself.
Yeah.
But honestly, that's a perfect meal. That with a glass of wine and this very dense, rich bread, and a little prosciutto. I heard you say. Is there Portuguese type of prosciutto? Or?
Actually, the Portuguese also are very good with prosciutto. They call it presunto. I know that there's one restaurant in Toronto. I love what they do. They have the fresh figs wrapped in prosciutto, and then they drop that into the salad. And on top of that, they add some of the shaved
The shaved cheese.
St. George cheese.
Perfect.
On top. So it's just, you know, a
Complete
nice
meal.
combination of
And
all
lovely in
different-
summertime.
Oh,
when it's hot.
perfect.
And summer is
Perfect.
going to come again.
It will be
It
coming
will.
very
It is hard to
soon.
believe it, but
And it's a
it is
nice
coming.
combination of flavors. It's, you know, it might be
it
a
is.
little
And
hard.
textures.
Yeah, absolutely.
And textures.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
great.
Yeah,
Okay, and there's a few other breads in here that I'm really looking forward to making. Some of them savory as well. I noticed you've got corn cakes and
Different
sweet
items.
breads.
Uh-huh.
Now, I think that I might probably wait for a special occasion like Easter to make a sweet egg bread. But for the cinnamon bread, like,
Yes.
you know, it
Oh,
looked
I love
really
that.
easy and it looked really tasty. And
Yeah.
if you could make a homemade cinnamon scented sweet bread,
And it's really mild, so it's just quite nice that way. It's not
Mhm.
like an overpowering sweet taste.
Mhm.
But I like too that it's got some of the Portuguese favorites, which are pine nuts, which are grown
Mhm.
in the north of Portugal.
and raisins, which I
And
love,
raisins, yeah.
and ground
again,
caraway.
Yeah, that's a little bit
It's
unusual.
a little bit unusual.
So
Is
I
that
found
your
that-
adaptation or is that?
No,
That's
these
some
are things
sorry,
that I
but-
picked up from someone who used to make these cakes on a regular basis. And actually, I remember her telling me that this was something that was done on special times of the year, All Saints Day. And then this is sort of an really old-fashioned. I don't know if they do this anymore. But then they'd cut up slices of the bread and pass it out to the children around All Saints Day.
Oh, that's nice.
So it's kind of a neat little.
There you go.
Yeah, but it's a very tasty bread, and
Okay.
I love the smell of cinnamon all through your house.
Absolutely.
And I remember when I made this in the summer, decided to do it one day in the summer, just thought I had to have it again. And ended up making tons, which was great. Put some in the freezer and then started giving some out to my neighbors. So
And then
she
you were
loved it so
very
much,
popular.
it's like- exactly.
And
I'm
then
gonna
you were
make
everybody's
lunches.
favorite neighbor. Yes, that's how that
I'm
works.
always looking for that. Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
goodwill in the neighborhood doesn't
Yeah,
hurt.
yeah.
Okay, that's great. All right, well, thank you very much for this look at Portuguese bread.
Absolutely, my
Okay.
pleasure.